Hello, welcome back everyone. My name is Chinwe and today I've got something exciting to share with you. It's about how I wrote and passed my NCLEX in first attempt and some tips for you as well to be able to pass your own as well. So please stay with me and make sure you watch this video to the end. All right, now let's get straight to the main content. Okay, so I used Saunders textbook 9th edition and Kaplan textbook 2023 to 2024 next generation NCLEX textbook prep. All right, and also Archer Q Bank for my practice test. Okay, so first I started an in-depth study for my NCLEX about 2 months to my exam. And what I did was that apart from other YouTube videos I watched that talked about the topics to expect and NCLEX, those kind of stuffs. Apart from those things, an in-depth study for my exam. I started that one from 2 months to my exam. And so what I did was that I created a study schedule for myself and I made sure I stick to the schedule. I make sure I study at least 2 to 3 hours every day. Nothing less, but most of the times I go beyond 2 hours. And first of all, I started with Kaplan because Kaplan Prep, the textbook I talked about before, I'll drop the link in the comment section if you want to get one from Amazon. I used that one first because they explained everything about the next generation in class, the type of questions that you are expected to see in NCLEX exam, like both type question, select and apply, case study, and how to answer each and every one of them. And they give you tips, tricks on how to prioritize and use elimination method to answer some of the questions. And guys, NCLEX is all about prioritization and elimination method. They're just trying to test your critical thinking skills. So having a good understanding about how to prioritize patient care and make decisions is very, very important. So that's the main reason I use that Kaplan textbook. Also, they have some questions as well, questions and answers at the end that can help you as well. So I studied Kaplan for about 1 week. It's not that much. So 1 week was enough for me to finish the textbook. And I went ahead and started reading my Saunders textbook. Saunders is good as well. That textbook is really nice. Only that textbook alone, you should be able to pass your NCLEX exam if you can finish the textbook. The textbook is quite voluminous actually, but it covers all the systems that are being asked in NCLEX. You can be able to see the test taking strategies, and when you are reading it, before you start, they put a guide on how to use the textbook. You'll be able to see some tips, NCLEX tips. There are some under those topics. There are some NCLEX tips they will ask you to note down that those questions usually come out in the main NCLEX exam. And I can confirm that as well. When you start using your Archer, you'll be able to see those questions you came across while you were studying with Saunders textbook. So I started reading the Saunders textbook 1 week after I finished with Kaplan. Okay, so I made sure I studied 2 to 3 hours every day. I continued. By so doing, you'll be able to cover as much topic as possible before the exam day. I couldn't finish it before the exam day, but I was able to cover most of the topics in the Saunders textbook. And then three weeks to my exam, I dropped the Saunders textbook. I subscribed to Archer Q Banks. And the Archer is really nice, very good. The readiness assessment is just the same. It's just almost the same, similar to the main NCLEX. Both the question and the format is just exactly like the main NCLEX exam. So if you are conversant on how to answer question in Archer, you should be able and more confident to answer your NCLEX, to pass your NCLEX exam, because it looks exactly the same. So their readiness assessment, according to them, if you have high or very high, because they give you at the end of each 85 questions, you should be able to know if your score is low, if you have borderline, high or very high. So according to them, if you have high or very high for 4 consecutive times, you have 99.35% chance of passing the NCLEX, and I confirm that. I can confirm that as well, because in fact, I will advise you aim to score more than that, like about 8 to 10 high to very high at a stretch. If you can be able to do that, you have that confidence that you are going to pass your NCLEX exam. It's really, so I was able to score about up to 10 or even more, very high to high at a stretch. So what I did with Archer was that by that 3 weeks, I wasn't going to work. And I will advise also for those of you that work, everyone work, if you can get 2 weeks annual leave, 2 weeks to your exam, if you can use it to get annual leave from your place of work and use it to do that Archer Q banks, it's really nice. Because what I did was that every day, that's 3 hours I spent reading every day, I use it to do the Archer Q banks, and that I answer those 85 questions as though I'm in exam condition, no disturbance, in a quiet environment. Complete it at once, not doing it bit by bit. I finish the whole 85 questions and then I see my score. And after each 85 question, always make sure that you review and make corrections, because even to the ones you answered correctly, that's how I did my own. I always review and make corrections to those ones, because when you are making corrections, you'll be able to know the topic more, get other necessary information about those topics they asked, and you can also be able to identify areas you're weak and you're lagging behind. So you can look more and read into that. And if you see those questions another time, even if they ask it in another format, you should be able to tackle the questions. So that's why it's always important to do corrections and review after you answer after each readiness assessment. So that was what I did before my NCLEX exam. So guys, my advice to those people that are planning to write soon: first of all, create a schedule for yourself. Consistency is the key. I know it's difficult, and sometimes unforeseen circumstances might make you not to stick to those schedules, but try as much as you can to make sure you cover the Sundance textbook before the exam. And again, practice. Taking as much questions as possible in that Archer Q banks will make you understand how the formats they use to ask questions. It will make you understand NCLEX more. So you should be able to have that confidence in yourself that you're going to pass the exam. In fact, if you can be able to finish the whole, because I think it's about 2,900 questions there, if you can be able to finish the whole of those questions, I bet you, and do corrections as well. That correction is really important. If you can be able to do like that, and it's great, you're gonna pass your NCLEX exam, is sure. All right. And then 2 days to your exam. By that time, you should be relaxed. No more practicing. Those areas of weakness you identified when you were practicing, you just have to look back into it, read some stuff about it, just to make sure that you can be able to answer any question that comes around from those topics. All right. So that's what you need to do with your remaining 2 days before your exam. So you don't need to stress much. You have a rest, sleep, okay, and with a relaxed mind, I bet you're gonna pass your NCLEX exam. There is nothing there. Just study normal, read. And once you are prepared with this thing I'm telling you now, use Kaplan and that Sundance textbook is really good. And then practice. Use Archer for your practice. You are good to go. You're going to pass the exam. You don't need any other thing. Some people will tell you to get UWorld. Yeah, UWorld is good. I tried looking at the questions, but for me, I prefer Archer. Some people ask you to get that one, read this one. You don't need plenty things. You don't need most of them. In fact, with Sundance alone and that's Archer Q banks, just focus on Sundance, finish that textbook, start with the Q banks, just to do some practice, you should be able to pass your NCLEX exam. There is nothing there. We are already nurses. So I'm just encouraging each and every one of you not to relent or have that fear that NCLEX is too tough. It's not that tough, all right? It's, in fact, something happened to me on my exam day, but I'm going to share that in another video, okay? It's just to encourage some of you, all right? So that's all for today. And please, I like to encourage some of us that have written and passed the exam to share their experiences in the comment section, so some of us will learn from it. I wish you good luck. Thanks everyone for watching, and please, if you found this helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can get more tips and updates from me. Thank you very much. Bye.